right, friends. So today I want to talk about something that's super personal and might be a little uncomfortable for some people. So I want to give a little bit of a warning label here. I'm actually going to share about how meditation helped me through my miscarriage. And so if this is not something that you're interested in, or if you're currently pregnant, or if you're very sensitive to this, then I will not be offended if you don't watch today's video. But I wanted to make this video and I wanted to share it because I know a lot of people see me as someone that they perceive as very healthy. They know that I meditate, they know that I eat well, that I exercise. And so I wanted to even share the fact that I had a miscarriage because I really want to collectively, as a society and as a culture, let go of the stigma that if you have a miscarriage, that something is wrong or that you did something bad or that there's something that even needs to be fixed. Once I went through this and I started sharing it with my friends, I started to realize just how common it is. Now, it being common certainly does not make it easy, but I think the fact that it's common could actually bring people a lot of comfort, but a lot of us don't know it because we don't talk about it. There's so much shame and there's so much secrecy around it, and we don't tell anyone that we're pregnant until we're sure we're through the first 3 months. And I feel like this is something that we could change, something that we could actually up level, something that we could rely on our communities for support moving through. And so that's why I wanted to share this video today. So my friend and student, an amazing actress, her name is Laura Benanti, she wrote an article and it was titled, "I Experienced the Voldemort of Women's Health Issues." And she actually wrote about her miscarriage, and she managed to do it in a way that was enlightening and funny even, and deeply personal. And her stepping up and sharing her story really inspired me to want to share my own. So I got pregnant last year on my first try, which is something to note because I'm 39 years old and a lot of people feel so much pressure around their age and when they get pregnant. And so just so you know, there's some really bad science out there that is correlating age and fertility. But actually what's more important is the health of the mother. It's not necessarily your age, but because as people age, their health tends to decline, we have conflated age and fertility. Now, obviously there is an actual end date, like if you stop your menses, but if you've not yet gone through menopause and you are still fertile, then I want you to let go of this pressure that we all put on ourselves that, well, the older I get, the less fertile I am. I'm sure that this is going to cause a lot of controversy, but I just want you to really check the science on this. So that's thing one. If you're trying to get pregnant right now and you're feeling pressure around time, that pressure is creating stress, and stress is not great for getting pregnant. So anyway, I got pregnant on my first try. But I didn't know that I was pregnant. And then about a month later, I had a period like normal. And then it went really long, like 12 days, and then 14 days, and then 17 days. And then I started actually having pain. And so I went to an OB there was like an OBGYN, and I was just like, "Hey, I'm not really sure what's going on. Can you just, check things out?" And I had told them that I was, recently trying to get pregnant. And she said, "Well, I think this might be a chemical pregnancy." And that's basically where there's a fertilization, but no implantation. And she said, "Let's just do a pregnancy test. We'll check." And so then the next day I was leaving to go and run a retreat, a 3-day retreat. And she called me as I was driving to the retreat. And she actually said, "Yes, so you did have a chemical pregnancy. It looks like you're having a miscarriage and things are probably going to get pretty intense for a few days." And I was, I won't say strangely, but I was really sad. I was really upset finding out this news, which is weird because I didn't even know that I was pregnant until I was already in the middle of a miscarriage, or so I thought. So anyway, I get this news and I was pretty upset, and I was also in a lot of physical pain, and I've been bleeding now for like 19 days, so I felt a little weak. And then I went and ran a retreat for 3 days. And I'm sharing this because a few days ago, someone on my team brought this up, and she had just joined the Ziva team and during this retreat. And she said, "Emily, I didn't even really know that you were going through that." She's like, "I tell something was going on because you went and you cried for 10 minutes, but then you ran this whole retreat. And I don't think I would have been able to do that had I not had meditation. It allowed me to really feel these feelings and process them very quickly, and then go and be really present when I was running the retreat. And then I came home and processed it in a new way." Now, here's where things get crazy. I come back, the OBGYN says, "Come back into the office. I'm going to test your pregnancy hormones again because they should have gone down." So I go back, I take another test, and they had actually doubled. My pregnancy hormones are now at a level of 6,000. And now I've been bleeding for like 20 something days. So it's very confusing why I still am showing up as pregnant, and yet I've been bleeding for so long. So she said, "I want you to go to the hospital. I want you to get an ultrasound." Go to the hospital and they do it. And they're like, "Oh yeah, here's the heartbeat." And I was like, what are you saying? How could I still be pregnant if I've been bleeding for so long? And so what we learned is that I had a hematoma, right, which is like a blood clot. It's an intrauterine blood clot. And so it was very touch and go, but I was in fact pregnant. They put me on bed rest, meaning you can't take baths, you can't exercise, you can't have sex. And that happened for a few weeks. And so I was just acting as if I was pregnant. It was still kind of not sure really how to proceed. And then maybe like a week or two later, started bleeding really heavily again. So I'm assuming that I'm having a miscarriage. I go back to the doctor, there's still a heartbeat. And so I'm like, okay, this baby's a fighter. I guess this is happening. And I keep living my life as if I'm pregnant. And then finally, about 12 weeks in, so I'm now past the 3-month mark. I'm at the safe time where you can start to tell people that you're pregnant. I go in just to have a regular checkup to do like the normal 3-month check. And the doctor says, I'm so sorry, but there's no heartbeat. And that is really a feeling and a news that no one ever wants to hear. And at that point, you're 3 months in, so you're pretty attached to this being and you have all kinds of hormones happening. And so it's pretty devastating. And by making this video, I in no way want to diminish or demean anyone's experience. I just want to share my experience because I felt like I was able to really feel it. I took the day, I actually rode my bike about 30 miles, and because I hadn't been riding a bike, I've been on bed rest. And then I came home and I told my husband, and we just cried and we were just really sad for a long time. And then, the next day I felt a little better. And the next day I felt a little better. And then I felt a little better and a little better and a little better. But the point of the story is that I think that had I not had meditation, I would have been trying to protect myself from the feelings, or I would have been trying to build some sort of like an emotional shield or guard around the intensity of that experience. And it may have taken much longer to move through it. But I think because of meditation, I was able to just feel it, to just really let myself release, to cry, to be sad, to be angry, to be afraid. And then the beautiful thing is that once you release it, it's never coming back. Right? You feel it fully, and then you move through to the new now. And so I'm incredibly grateful to this practice for giving me the tools to really feel that and process it. And then, as you can see, I'm real pregnant right now, and I got pregnant just a few months later. I wanted to take a few months to replenish the soil, make sure that my body was really nourished. And then I got pregnant kind of as a surprise a few months later. So I just wanted to share this. So in case you have been through a miscarriage and you're afraid you won't get pregnant again, or if you feel like you haven't really taken the time and space to really mourn or heal, I want to encourage you to do that. And if you don't yet have a meditation practice, it would be such a joy to share this one with you, because in my experience, it really increases fertility. It makes pregnancy so much easier, and I'm hoping that it will really help with birth as well. So thank you so much for listening to my story. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share it. I would love to see this story inspire other people to share their stories as well. Not because we want sympathy, not because we want to wallow around in suffering, but because this is a very common part of fertility and pregnancy. I think the more we talk about it, the more we normalize it, the more we can really support each other through what's incredibly challenging. All right, friends, thank you so much for listening and letting me share. I love you very much, and I'm really excited to introduce you to my son in just a few weeks.